Oh no, we're digging right in.
Take a bite out of the galaxy with
my God.
Guardians of
Take
the
Bro, I am Groot, all right? I am eating Groot.
Take a big galactic bite.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 112 of Press Any Key. You can find us on all social media at pressanykey.tv. You can also join our Discord and join the conversation in the comments below. Like this video. With me, as always, my co-hosts, Nick McFly, Mike Burke. Give it up for Liz on the ones and twos.
All right.
We got Pat back.
Yeah,
I'm alive.
and boy, is he tired. He just flew in. And
He just
boy,
flew
is he
in.
tired.
I don't ever want to be the I'm always tired person, but I feel like I've earned it.
Is that a thing? Is that a
Oh,
trope?
yes. Liz, is the always tired person a thing or not?
Yes,
Yes, 100%, dude.
Who's the is Liz the always tired?
I am the
person?
always tired person.
He's
I'm
taking it
marrying
from
the
you.
always tired person. All right, so we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
And that's it.
Yeah, because we've had a long week.
Yeah, all of
And
us.
you guys saw Sisu.
Yeah, that was
I want to see that now because I didn't listen to the spoiler section, but
And I want to watch. What did you watch? Oh, Evil Dead Rise.
yeah.
I still need to go see that.
I still want to see Bo is Afraid.
Yeah, I might actually reinstate my AMC
I
membership
just
for Bo
did
is Afraid.
because I also saw the that Nike movie Air or whatever.
Oh, you
How was that?
It was pretty good. I mean, like I knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
What's
But
your rating?
It was a solid for like one of those movies. I give it an 8.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it
love
was,
Ben Affleck movies. I want to see that.
Ben Affleck was great. It was good to see him as like a Mark Zuckerberg kind of like CEO kind of dude, and
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon was also like everybody was good in it.
Matt Damon.
I just feel like our calendar coming up, movies are
Very
fucking
thin.
finally hitting. What?
What are you talking about?
I feel like finally we're coming out of a slumber where there's like the last couple months we haven't seen shit.
Yeah, I got away with not having Movie Pass
Yeah.
for quite some time, and then literally I reinstated it like right before this week because I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna go see Guardians, and then it's like after this we're gonna go see.
Yeah.
I mean, like all the Oppenheimer shit's coming out in July. Like the Barbie movie's also
We
coming
got,
out.
the Marvels.
The
are coming out
Marvels.
soon.
It seems like end of June.
Well, I'm just
and
looking
July
through
is a
May.
lot.
I'm looking through May, and it seems like Guardians of the Galaxy and the only other like tentpole franchise that's coming out is Fast X at the end of the month.
Yeah, we're gonna dedicate like 10 episodes to that because we're
Yeah.
gonna go 1
Because
through.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, and
I've
I
seen
guess-
Tokyo Drift.
I guess I guess Little Mermaid too comes out at the end of the
I'm
month.
not watching any of the Disney reboots. I've
yeah,
decided.
you've burned us.
Yeah. Or like that's the thing. It's like in the.
Oh, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse
There
in
you go.
June. Oh, and Boogeyman, bro. That
You
movie
don't have to point at
Boogeyman.
me every time.
Point at
Boogeyman.
him. Point at him. Put that finger in his face.
What about
Trans-
Indiana Jones?
Yes,
Yeah.
Transformers.
I'm not seeing
Flamin'
Transformers.
Hot.
What is that?
Cheetos?
The story of the Flamin' Hot Cheetos is coming out. That's what it is. It's a real story about it.
No, you're lying.
No, I'm not, dude. I will
Chester
pull.
Cheeto on the silver screen.
Dude, I would love to have almost like a Pink Panther style
Flamin'
Chester
Hot.
Cheeto movie.
The Frito-Lay janitor who channeled his Mexican-American heritage and upbringing to turn Flamin' Hot Cheetos into a snack that disrupted the food industry and became a global phenomenon.
Oh, okay. So it's like a historical piece
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
like Chester Cheeto.
It's like Air.
It's like Air.
It's just the food that built America, but
Oh,
on
The Flash, I guess, is coming. I just kind of
See?
feel like it's a little bit thinner than usual.
It's just all right. Maybe I don't have the same memory that
It
you
might
do.
be 'cause-
I don't remember every single movie that I've seen every summer.
Pat's like, this 1 week is really thin.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
Insidious.
But
Oh
compared
yeah,
to
Pat.
coming-
What Insidious movies have I seen? Can you tell me? Because I don't know.
I don't know.
You're supposed to know.
Oh,
You're supposed to have these memories.
listen, boys,
He's
I'm a little
slipping.
tired.
he's
Mission
the always
Impossible.
tired one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barbie, Oppenheimer. Yeah, I guess really. The Meg 2. I mean, we're seeing that, right? Comes out in August. Oh, Last Voyage of the demeanor.
You got this.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Did you guys see the trailer for that?
That's
you
a
owe it to
weird-
yourself to watch that.
That's a weird fucking
It's
trailer.
a weird take on how to do a video game movie.
I
That's
just
for
love
sure.
like
It's not a
the
video
return
game.
of
Gran
Orla-
Turismo.
Yeah.
It 100% is a video
Would
game.
you call that a
movie.
video game?
Yeah, they're
I
taking
guess.
Yes.
they're taking esports
You know
people and putting them in the real world, and Orlando Bloom is making his
It's
like
sponsored by.
his ra-
random return
Yeah.
as like putting all of his cards on,
Oh, there's
putting all
a
his chips on
Kraven
red.
movie this year too, and
The what?
The Craven.
a Craven
Oh.
the Hunter movie,
I
much
think-
like Morbius.
I really thought you said Cravings movie, and I was like the Taco
Oh,
Bell
the
movie.
The Exorcist
Bong.
reboot comes out
When
this
is
year.
when's Blade supposed to come out? Did
Dude,
we?
well, we already heard about this.
Great,
It's
yeah.
back. You did that on
Back,
purpose,
it's
didn't you?
in pre-production. It's halted.
Yeah.
that means they haven't even started shooting it yet.
That means they're still working on getting the script right.
Dude, Mahershala Ali's like what? How old? 60 something.
I was gonna be like, his ass is
No.
gonna be
Is
like.
he really that old?
Yeah.
We did this before.
He looks great.
Yeah, I don't think he's that old, but I think
think
he's older than you think.
43.
I think he was
my
No,
46.
he's 49.
Yeah,
Damn, he looks
60
good.
I know he looks great. 60 something. Just really aging the
Five
man
Nights
out.
at Freddy's comes out this year.
Yeah.
Saw X. These are big tentpole movies. Dune Part 2.
Saw
Oh.
X? Didn't we
Yeah.
already do Saw? Oh no, there's 10 of them, but that last one was not.
Yeah,
You're
it's
thinking
okay.
of iPhone X.
The spice must flow.
Dune Part 2. The other thing, you know what I didn't like about that trailer? Why did they spoil the? I get the Warner Brothers always has the one thing in their trailers that gets you in the movie. Why spoil the worm riding though?
I didn't see that one.
You didn't see the
We
new Dune
just
trailer?
spoiled it for. No.
The worm.
Well, I mean, like
Uh,
everybody knows
The
that's what it
forbidden
is.
butthole.
The Marvels. Forbidden Butthole.
What are you talking about over there?
Wait, can we talk about the Marvels trailer real quick?
Looks
Did you
good.
see it in the? It looks good.
Looks good.
It does.
You know, and I'm excited that we get Kamala Khan back, and like
The mom, I forgot the mom was really good in that
Yeah.
show too.
And the dad,
I-
despite all of his personal misgivings.
I was thinking about something today while we
That's
were
one way to
watching
characterize it.
that trailer. So we have Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, and then Monica Rambeau is
Her
just
name is Photon.
okay. So
Keep
she's
her
not.
name out your mouth.
So she doesn't have like a Mrs. Marvel or like
No,
a.
she's Photon.
No.
But
Ms. Marvel.
She's just related because she's friends with Carol Danvers.
Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
She's part of the crew.
She's Carol's her aunt.
Yeah.
All right.
So
should we
she's
talk
my
about-
favorite of the bunch. I thought she was great in WandaVision.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Brie Larson. I was
No,
gonna
no,
be
no.
like, what are you, beta?
Nice simp job.
Yeah.
you pulled a real simp job.
Jeez, Nick. All right. So let's talk about Guardians. Non-spoilers.
Okay, so my non-spoiler review is I
Sure.
was like I don't know if I really care to see this in Dolby just because I never noticed a difference. So I watched it in digital. I noticed the difference. Finally, I was like, wow, this should have been so much more loud.
Yeah, yeah.
I should be rumbling right now.
I saw that shit in IMAX, and goddamn, was that a crisp film?
Yeah, I bet.
Dolby's
we
worth
saw
it.
it. We saw it in Dolby. The one thing I did notice is that the aspect ratio changed in between some scenes.
like Avatar.
Yes.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
were in
because you
IMAX,
were in
right?
IMAX.
Oh,
Whereas
right. You poor
in
people.
Dolby, the IMAX, they fill up, and then sometimes it'll cut back to something else. But that didn't take me out of the movie too much. So, non-spoiler review. What I said to Liz when we were leaving was, this feels like two movies in one, but both of those movies are really good. Because I really enjoyed this. Like, I like this more than Wakanda Forever. Don't know if I like it more than No Way Home, but this is definitely up there for me. I really like this, and like, it's like I said, it feels like two movies in one. But both of those movies are really good. Like, that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, I really also enjoyed it. I thought it was probably, it's the like classic thing, like when Marvel does Marvel right,
Yep.
it does it so well.
Yeah.
And I felt like this honestly was one of the like best Marvel movies probably since like Endgame, and it had
Yeah.
that kind of like weight that I felt with it.
It did feel like old school Marvel,
It
didn't
felt
it?
like old school, and it was really good. And in the fact of that, it was whole. Like
Yeah.
it didn't, every single Marvel thing we've seen recently half of a story setting up the next part of this universe, setting up the next part of this universe. This was a self-contained thing.
You're
It wrapped
absolutely
up
right.
it wrapped up all of the character arcs from like the first part and the second, or the first movie and the second movie. Like, it's just really tied in real pretty bow.
And what I really liked was the it had that phase 2 quality of Marvel, or phase 3, where it's like you saw shit that was in other movies, but that was just a part of the world.
Yeah.
Like somebody's using the fucking portals at one point
Yeah.
in the movie. And I was like, oh, that's cool that somebody else is using that magic. But like,
it's
we're
not called to
familiar
your
with
attention.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
there.
It's just there. Exactly. That's what I appreciated. You know what I mean?
And Marvel really needed this win.
Oh, yeah.
After the slew of movies that were okay at best, they really needed this. They stuck the landing. And you got to give most of the credit to James Gunn because it's creative filmmaking. He has style. You can tell instantly that you're watching a movie that somebody cared about. They made choices. It wasn't just like, just get another one off the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I would not say it's as good as Wakanda Forever. I would say that's kind of bold, but it's definitely the best one in quite a while.
I think it makes like one of the best trilogies, if not.
Yeah,
Everybody's saying that,
really
like the
good.
Captain America trilogy.
No,
Just disappeared
here's the
somewhere.
thing with that though. It's like, as a standalone trilogy, like Civil War would not make any sense if you hadn't seen the other things.
I mean, yeah.
Like this in itself, realistically, the only thing, I mean, it's not a spoiler with Gamora, where they had to kind of like quasi retcon it, and that's just
I
basically
read
James Gunn
somewhere-
like flipping off for them
Yeah.
for like killing off his character in another movie.
I read somewhere that you had to watch the holiday special to get some plot point in
There
this.
was some in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, but I remember
only-
there were things that
the only
harkened
thing,
back to it.
the
but-
only thing that was important is that it's Mantis is his half sister,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
directly says that in this movie. I
Yeah.
think.
That's right. That's right.
And they had a little fun callback in the post-credit scene with the.
yeah.
Going back to what you're saying about Gamora, I think the choices James Gunn made with Gamora was a smart step in the direction that Marvel already put her in,
Mhm.
as opposed to retconning what they did so he could try and fumble his way. Like, he got smart about it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't go back and change what they did, so I just got to do the best I
He
can.
yes-anded it.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah. Which I feel like in that situation, he had to yes-and it.
Right. And it was, the way he did it, like I said, was kind of like I'm hanging a lantern on this because I didn't have a decision in this before.
Yeah.
But also made it that Gamora's character had an actual like character arc in this.
Yeah.
It wasn't just kind of like you're now here as a,
It's like
green
in,
light across the Gadsby Lake that,
I don't
he's
get
all-
that reference.
I get it.
In my reference is Beer League, where fucking
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest.
Yeah. Beer League.
Landfill's brother shows up. He's like, I know everything about you guys.
Yeah.
Just pretend like I'm him.
I love it. Like Nick's like, I don't know about F. Scott Fitzgerald, but you know that that
Dude,
Comedy Central
Beer
midday
League.
movie.
I never had to read Great
Gatsby,
Gatsby in
yeah.
school. I never had to read it.
I saw this shitty movie.
I didn't see the movie either.
Um,
I'm sorry, Mike.
Liz, what'd you
I'm
think?
You and your IMAX movies and
I
F.
know.
Scott Fitzgerald.
Nick's Mike is high society. Okay.
And I'm dirty gutter trash.
That's why I have a whole couch.
What did you think of the movie, Liz? Non-spoiler.
I really enjoyed it. I agree with Pat that it was like a 2-for-1. You got a 2-for-1 with this one. There was definitely 2 movies because I felt like plot 1 was resolved with about 45 minutes left.
I thought even sooner than that.
Well, yeah. I was never too worried about that first one, but I liked it. I think this was actually I think this was actually my favorite Guardians movie.
Really?
Wow.
I would
know.
say so too, Liz.
There was just like I laughed, I cried, like it gave me everything I needed out of like a Guardians film.
I will say this: the opening of this movie, without spoilers, set up to tell a very different Guardians movie. Especially front loading this with a very different type of Guardians movie, because I feel like that later half is when they like, all right, let's make this a Guardians movie again.
Yeah.
Like,
We went pretty dark.
oh, dude, there was.
Yeah, wait, Liz, how much did you cry?
We had plans today, so I kept it to a minimum and used my
Gotta
nails
save the makeup.
to blot the inner corners of my eyes about. I went through.
Scooped the tears.
I scooped the tears out so that they didn't run down my face.
Put them in a Fallout Boy vinyl.
I tried to buy it too.
I get that reference.
There we go.
I will say, oh no, I'm blurry. Sorry, camera.
That's gonna happen.
We were walking out of the theater and I go, Pat, is this the end of phase 4? So he goes, phase 5 started with Ant-Man, and I made like a horrific vomiting noise. I was like, bleh! And this woman must have actually thought I was vomiting because she stopped like mid crosswalk to turn around and make a concerned face at me because our theater for 10:30 in the morning was packed.
I mean, it's Guardians, baby.
Yeah, and there was a kid dressed up as Star-Lord.
Yes, and I told them I
that's
like their
cool.
outfit. Yeah.
Stupid dumbass.
Stupid moron.
Stupid moron.
And you,
So the cast.
Jube.
Chris Pratt is
Jib.
back as Star-Lord. He's very charming once
He's
again.
very Christian.
Dude, I did not think about that once. this
No,
entire
I don't
movie.
give a fuck.
Yeah, fuck all that.
I definitely thought about it at least once or twice.
They're just really
He's-
spitting in his face by
he's
having
very
him float
good.
in a space god head. Like,
That and like murder a bunch of God's creatures. I guess most of them were abominations of science.
yeah. There is no god,
There
they
is
say
no
in the
God.
movie.
And then that guy gets his comeuppance. So
Chris Pratt's very good. Zoe Saldana as Gamora is very good. Dave Bautista, man, once again, they just
really fucked.
they really like
they fucked.
they
him.
tried to give him a little something like, being a dad, which I thought was you know what? I should
They could have.
They tried to give him a
That's
little
okay.
They tried to give him a little something
That doesn't
and
give anything away.
and it ultimately it was nice
That's
to see them,
spitting
but
in the face.
Yeah.
If they made that like a big part of the movie, cool.
Yeah.
But
Better.
it was like at the very end, it's like here's your
Yeah.
pittance.
Karen Gillan as Nebula.
I
This is the best
thought-
Nebula
yeah.
it's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
Also, she's finally verified on TikTok. They would not give her her full name. It was like Karen
'Cause now she
Gillan
can-
1.
Now she can pay for it.
And
Yeah.
now she's finally verified. I thought she was phenomenal.
She was great.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel as Groot. This is the first time I feel like you could really tell it was Vin Diesel as Groot.
I think so, too.
It's the first time you could really tell it was
This
him.
is the first time I made the connection that his big 2 tentpole franchises are all about family.
Yeah.
I never made that connection before.
Do you forget that
Family.
Vin Diesel is a part of the MCU? Like plays a
No.
huge role. I
never
always
forget
forget
that.
when I look at Groot. The last thing I think is his voice actor.
I think it was interesting. Like we haven't gone back to the original form of Groot, where he's like tall and skinny.
It's always changing.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. People said it's some shit about like the Celestials and like everything that happened, like influencing his growth, basically, like the light and whatnot. But
It's like
Whatever.
Superman and the Red Sun.
it's literally, I was like, they're really stretching here.
And then finally, Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. I think it's kind of
He got the
hilarious
Rat
how
Award for this movie.
he showed up to listen, that was very nice. He showed up to the red carpet in this and like was like just in like a t-shirt and jeans
With his
and,
mom, right?
and like they were interviewing him and it was so hilarious. Somebody tweeted that clip with the caption, I think this is the first time he's publicly acknowledged he's in these movies.
I saw that.
Because
true.
once
I've
again,
never heard him talk
Bradley
about it.
Cooper is another top A-list actor that's just in the MCU doing the voice of a
That gives it like a
raccoon.
real good performance,
Yeah.
too. He's not just like being Bradley Cooper. I mean, Vin Diesel is being Vin Diesel.
We also got to give Sean Gunn some credit. He
Yeah.
does the mocap for
Yes.
Rocket.
on set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nepotism.
There was a lot
He's
of
a Nepo
there.
brother.
Oh,
Oh,
there was
there was a
Nepo
lot of-
lady.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see the nepotism?
wife.
Yeah, his wife was in this movie. How
Yeah.
dare
Was it an
she?
extra or something?
No, she
No.
played the. We'll,
Oh, was
we'll
she
get
the
to
one
it.
on the intercom?
Yeah.
Yes, but there was also, if you looked at the credits, like
Oh.
the last name Gunn popped up a few times. He's just like, I got.
That movie is just like America. There's
Yeah,
guns
I mean,
everywhere. So she was in Peacemaker, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's
And
Which-
she was in Black Adam.
amazing
And she
TV
was in
show.
Shazam.
whoa.
Hey, look, every single director puts every single one of their
I mean,
family
the
members in
main
it, like-
villain is the guy, the butterfly,
Yes.
What is the Peacemaker?
I
what,
got-
what are the,
Oh, he
yeah,
is.
he's the
That's it, thank you.
Yo, I couldn't remember.
I was
where
like
his
the
name-
alien dude.
Knew he looked so familiar.
A high evolutionary is his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about him performance wise? We'll talk character later on. but-
I think he did a great job. I think as far as villains go, he was very like villain of the week.
He's
I wasn't
somewhere
like,
in
wow,
between.
He's incredible.
He's somewhere in between phase 1 villain and phase 3 villain.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
like he has the presence and the gravitas, but he's got none of the context. You
He
know what I
just-
mean?
He just yelled the entire time.
Yeah, I thought
I was like, can you just fucking like
monologue a little bit.
Yeah, but like, and like Chris Pratt yells at him for monologuing, but like, or Star-Lord does, but I was like, everything you're doing is just screaming. I was like, can you please just like have a little bit of like fear and like like intimidation with that? You don't have to just
Be
blur it.
confident.
I
in
did-
yourself. You call
You're
yourself
God.
a god.
I feel like I did
know what?
enjoy I did enjoy the one noteness of the character though, in a sense of like he was just evil because he had a complex about being inferior and that he was creating life and all that stuff. And there's a certain scene where he explains his plight, and when you really think about it in the latter half of the movie, it is really a personal it's a personal tale. It's not really like for
Yeah.
corporate gain or for, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Like,
you have his
the-
whole
yeah.
thing like
he's
built on
the sea monkeys kid.
Yeah.
He's the kid who's always trying to perfect his sea monkeys in grade school. You know what I mean?
Do you guys ever have sea monkeys?
Eric has sea
Eric
monkeys.
I was
Sea
right now.
just
monkeys right
about
now,
to
yeah.
say
Yeah.
we learned that Eric,
Eric has
sea
20,000 sea monkeys.
20,000.
He's
How
growing
does he
them-
count?
you did really closely, like. But yeah, like his whole
Man's
thing
got
is
some interesting pets.
his whole thing is built off of like him being moral and the morality of like, yeah, we're gonna, break a few eggs, scramble an omelet. But then also it's just kind of like you see him in that one scene where he has like a little bit of the breakdown and like when, at a titular moment, not a titular moment, important moment.
Oh, is
When he guards the galaxy.
When the Guardians Galaxy.
When he's celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
CCC.
CCC.
What do you guys think of the story?
I thought it was like, again, it's like the actual mission. It's very like MacGuffin. It's like, we need to get this thing because of this circumstance that's never come up before ever. So like that to me didn't bother me, but it was pretty surface level. But I mean, it didn't need to be anything more than that.
Yeah. No, I thought it was. I thought for the most part, because the focus wasn't on the MacGuffin. The focus was on the characters and their interactions between in the moments, and I thought that was a smart play. It is still the story moving the characters, but the characters are learning and growing. You know what I mean? So it's not like preferable, but it was still well done.
Yeah. Because like you said, it is a character study. It's a an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
It's not really about.
It's not about the story. Like it's about everybody being not perfect.
What did
And,
you-
like,
what'd you think of Nathan Fillion showing up?
I
there?
was just about to ask that. I literally have his IMDb up right now. Yeah. If you
Because he
want,
was in the other ones too, right? He was in a couple other.
No, he was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
He was the guy whose arms detached.
No, he was somebody else in. I think.
oh wait.
It's a shame.
Oh, he was in. Yeah, he actually was in volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah,
What?
he was other like ran. I remember seeing him those and I was like, oh okay. And then
All
he came
of
back
his
again. I was
joke-
like, let's go.
His joke lines were fucking some of the funniest moments.
Yeah, they were great.
I got one of those too.
You know
He's
what?
got that
Actually,
dumb kid he hates. Like,
I'm glad you brought up the humor, because I feel like this is the first movie in a while where the humor was very naturally flowing throughout because James Gunn wrote it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was directed by James Gunn. So,
yeah. It wasn't shitty Marvel humor.
Yeah. Ouch. My tattoo burns.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't. It's like I said, it's just, it wasn't very forced or like ham-fisted, or it didn't feel like Ant-Man where nothing was serious. It was just like, these characters are inherently goofballs, so they're
I
going to be
just really
goofballs.
like. I can't help but kind of feel for Dave Bautista. It's like they couldn't even give him any sincerity in this movie. They're like,
Jube.
you are our joke machine
Yeah.
till the day you fucking die.
And then they just tell it to his face, and then they make him forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
like, God damn.
That felt like a slap in the face to Batista.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like going through it, there's not a single character that's playing like the straight man, and I was like,
You know what?
And I was like, this works. I was like, I love it. I don't need
If
a straight
anybody,
man. Yeah, like
Groot was the straight man.
So, what do you guys
Honestly,
think
yeah.
of Will Poulter's Adam Warlock?
I wish we got more of him.
I wish he feels like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Like they set him up at the end of Volume 1, which was 5 years ago at this point.
Oh my god.
And end of Volume 2, which was 5 years ago. And then all this Infinity War shit happens, and he never shows up, even though he's a part of the original Infinity Saga shit. And then this happens, and it is a very big departure from the source material. Like,
I don't
not
know
even the
anything
same
about that.
guy.
It seems like they're gonna try and morph him into what they need him to be.
Yeah.
This is their starting point to get him into the universe.
What I had read was somebody talked about it being a commentary on like how James Gunn views the characters that are like they say that they're God and like but they aren't actually a God. And it's like a creation of that is still super imperfect. So it was kind of like poking at that.
About Adam Warlock or about the
Warlock?
high
Yeah, because like he made them.
I forgot about the Sovereign too.
Yeah.
From the second one, like I totally forgot about the mom and like it was just I feel like the two of them were like everything else was really well constructed, and then it was like, oh shit, I forgot about them, and like he tried to put them in where he couldn't, but like
He's just funny when he comes crashing through shit, and they're like, "Fuck this guy again."
yeah,
Like
exactly. That's what it
funny
feels
part
like.
about
Who
it.
is this guy? You know
I
what
would
I
have
mean?
liked more moments for him to get to act rather than just have beat him up moments.
I would have liked to seen him play a more integral part of the story too. You know what I mean? Like, or but I feel like they already did the whole like God opposite Peter Quill thing with Thor for a bit, so maybe it wouldn't have worked out. But
they
kind of wasted that whatever
Right.
that could have been between them and Thor: Love and Thunder.
One of the other things about the comedy in this, I was like, some things felt very Rick and Morty in the way of like you just taking like a situation and it's making it like you're understanding the full effect of it. Like when Gamora shoots one of those guards in the leg and they're like, they fall to the ground and they're just screaming and like doing things. I was like, that feels really
That
like,
was Jennifer Holland.
yeah.
That security
that's his
guard. Yeah,
wife,
that's
yeah.
his James Gunn's wife.
All right.
I think even a better moment of that is when Adam Warlock fries that dude.
Yeah.
That was super Rick and Morty.
It's the thing where it's just like, oh shit. Like, it's not just your actions and then you move on.
That
It was
fucking
like,
Rick and Morty moment where Rick asks him to flip the light switch.
Yeah.
And he does the wrong one. And it's like, well, we got to go bury the bodies now.
Okay. So out of the 3 Guardians movies, where would you put this?
I don't, honestly, the Guardians movies, generally, I don't remember the plot so much. I remember how they make me feel, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one was just them becoming a team.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened in the second one?
Um.
Does anybody remember?
Avengers.
Isn't that
It's
when
with
we get
Ego.
we get the
Kurt
storyline
Russell.
of
Kurt Russell.
yeah.
I would probably put this. I think I'd probably do part 2, part 3, part 1.
Really?
Whoa.
That's-
I hated to.
I would
Maybe just
probably
'cause I
do.
love Kurt Russell.
I would probably
He was
do
great.
2, 3, 1.
I would do 1, 3,
But they're
2.
all
That's
good.
That's what I said. Yeah.
No, you said 2, 1, 3.
No, I said 2, 3, 1.
Oh, okay. That would do 2, 3, 1 as
Yeah.
well.
1, 3, 2. There's so much of 2 that just drags.
All
Also,
right.
the relationship with Yondu really does it for me. In part
Oh,
2.
that's true. Yeah, we'll get into it.
That's real emotions right
Yeah.
there.
Okay, true. I feel like
I may not be your father, but I'm your pappy.
I truly feel like I don't remember what happened in 2, so I'm gonna. This is gonna be controversial. So sorry. I'm gonna say 3, 1, 2.
That's fair.
That's
that was
fair.
I almost
They're
did
all
that.
good. It's not like Back to the Future where
I
if
don't
you're
know.
like the third one's my favorite. It's like, who are you?
Let's be
Then
clear.
you
There was a
just-
lot
you
of
just,
cute
like,
animals in
trains.
this.
Yeah.
He just like trains in
Who'd
the
you
old
invite?
ones.
Who invited you here?
Just like trains.
I don't know. There was a lot of
All right.
baby
Oh, I-
animals, so I was in.
There's a lot of baby animal cruelty though, Liz.
Yeah, and that's what she likes about it.
Yeah,
Now,
that was it.
What did you guys think about this being
That was a joke.
exceptionally dark compared to other Marvel films?
It was a nice departure.
Yeah.
But there was a guy sitting next to me, and he like at some point, he leaned over to whoever he was with and was like, "Why is this one so gross?"
Yeah.
There's it was very gross, but I mean, it's like I like that James Gunn does stuff like that because it's like otherwise you're just going to get very polished. You're in outer space.
Yeah.
There should be weird otherworldly stuff.
Yeah.
But I can understand how it's a turnoff to general audiences.
Yeah, there was like all of the weird stuff with like the
so
Orgo
gross.
Corp kind
Yeah,
of
that was
stuff, and then
fucking
like when
gross.
they behead that one character, and then
They behead somebody?
They do.
yeah,
The pig?
That's
the pig.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that, and then you see like all the viscera
But the pig
and like
and that bird counterpart were both incredibly gross and scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one actually, I do like. Speaking of that, visually, this looked great.
Yeah.
Like compared to everything else, compared to Ant-Man, which looked like absolute shit, like just dog shit. I hated the way that movie looked.
It really doesn't. It looked like it looked like somebody pissed on the film,
Yeah.
and then that was their tip.
It looked like a
that was
bad
their
fucking.
luck.
It looked like a bad fucking.
Somebody
YouTube
pissed on the
video.
camera, and
Yeah.
they kept a jar of piss in front of it.
It's like how they used to do lighting effects back in the
With-
1800s with just like colored water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this one looked fantastic, and I mean, like seeing it on IMAX too, like was just.
It's the third time you've mentioned it. We get it. Okay?
I know. I can pay for IMAX.
And he's-
Fucking poor
he's a
people.
Stubbs member,
So,
bro.
all right.
I'm
out
an
of-
A-lister.
Out of for whatever, I still think of things in it's kind of like early 2000s.
You
Pre
think of things in how much money does it make, and that means how much people like it.
pre 9/11, post 9/11. So
That really is the
so-
modern day
so
ADBC, isn't
well,
it?
really, what the modern one now is pre-COVID, post-COVID.
That's true.
So
That's
in the
true.
post-COVID Marvel era, where would you put this?
Okay, well, just run me off.
Tell
Black,
me what that is.
Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Wakanda Forever, Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man 3.
The only one that is better than this is Wakanda Forever. No Way Home, I would say, is in the ballpark, probably, around there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is upper echelon.
What about you?
This is like one or two, like with No Way Home being the other like contender.
Yeah, I would say that my list now out of post-COVID is now No Way Home, this, and then Wakanda Forever. How about you, Liz?
I agree with that. That's why I was asking you actually about like if this was phase 4 or phase 5, because I think in the last, if we count just phase 4 and phase 5 as one right now, they've had 3 good movies.
Yeah.
And it's No Way Home, Guardians, Wakanda Forever. So
See, for
Multiverse of Madness, I really
Multiverse
like
was
too,
decent.
yeah, it
But
just
it's
felt like these ones were just
so much better.
so much
yeah.
better. Yeah.
It's also because Multiverse was with Sam Raimi's like vibe
Yeah,
that it had. Like it didn't feel like a Marvel movie.
Oh, that's what made it.
they're
better.
going.
Yeah,
in-
yeah,
You
but
guys
what-
know
what-
that
yeah.
they're going to start going in that direction. Kevin Feige said he wants
Director driven.
more experience. Like as long as they can agree to the
Good.
story and the rules. Like Sam Raimi's Marvel movie was the first Marvel movie I saw in a very long time where the camera actually moved and did fun
Yes.
I
things.
mean, this one too.
like
it's
this one as well.
and
Like
it was a highlight because it was like they're doing something cool.
yeah, and that's kind of my point is that like when you watch Thor: Love and Thunder, it feels like such like a we need to stitch. I shot 4 hours worth of content. We need to
Yes.
stitch all of this together into some sort of story that we can use. And then you look at something like oh god, what was the other one? Ant-Man, where it's like they clearly did not know what they wanted when they went into that
This
one.
all
is
in
a
front of a
green
blue
screen.
screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blue screen. Yeah.
Where this one was a very clear vision and story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just need to bite the bullet and just like stop hiring filmmakers out of festivals just to say you hired somebody who's like new and upcoming and then you direct the movie. You know what I mean?
I think it's fine to do that, but if it's like you're going to start branching out, that's where you stick those directors. But your big tent poles, your main storyline ones, you have to have the seasoned vets who have a vision. Like especially think about if you're giving all of the Doctor Stranges to Sam Raimi. Now that's your horror. It's
Yeah.
going to be weird and quirky. And then if you give it to the Guardians to James Gunn, that's going to be silly and gross and sci-fi.
Yeah.
And everything kind of has its lane. Whereas if you're picking up a new director out of a film festival, it's going to be generic. It's
The
going to
shit-
be
yeah.
exactly what you. And
because what excites
the studio's
them,
going to
yeah.
give them notes. The
Yeah.
studio's going to say, no, this is how we want it.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell James Gunn what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
I think a big part of that too is all these new directors are going to be like, I want to come in and I'm going to try and make my like stake on this, and then you're going to fight with their style versus the studio. But in like this too, you had a lot of shots in this that James Gunn like obviously clearly is like a fantastic filmmaker and like visionary. There's so much of it that was like reminiscent of like old movies, and like there's a lot of like 2001 Space Odyssey kind of type of shit throughout a lot of this. Like all of their like Among Us costumes was a reference to that. When she's running on the hamster wheel, that's also a reference to that. Like so it's like they're talking about and they're using really good old school shit, and you're like, oh, that's why this looks really good. It's like it's a, you know, an homage to like certain types of things.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. The needle drop
that's
moments
not
are
even worth saying. It's like you go to a Guardians movie,
you're
literally getting
a great playlist.
The movie is more of a music video for the playlist.
Yes,
than
Yeah, and what I love is it actually makes it like diegetic music.
Yep.
Like it's not just there for the purpose of like being there.
Click, click, boom. All right, so want to give the non-spoiler numbers, everybody? Ratings? Okay, Nick, you can start.
I'd probably give it an 8. It was really good. It wasn't perfect. There was some sloppiness with certain mashing shit together, but it was fun and it was the best one in a long time. 8.
I'm gonna give it like a 9.5. I'm gonna excuse like the sloppiness, and that's why I'm not giving it a 10. But I'm gonna excuse some of that for it just being probably one of the better Marvel movies in the last. I don't know how many
like
fucking
years.
I was gonna say decade.
I might bump it up to an 8.5, but let me hear you.
I would give it a 9. Like there's a couple issues, but overall, like this was just such a delight compared to like what a Marvel movie has become, I guess you could say. And it was also really nice because since my mind was occupied elsewhere, I wasn't like caught up in the hype. So we just dropped in the theater day, and I had a really nice surprise. You know what I mean?
It
like,
wasn't like with everything else that we do here, where we are hyper aware.
Yeah,
of everything.
exactly. It was just like, I'm just gonna go in there and enjoy this, and or at least try to enjoy it. And like, I had my expectations, but it wasn't like I was looking for things or I had read something. Like, I just wanted it to take me on the ride, and I felt like it did a really good job of that, despite the fact that there are some issues. Liz?
I'm also gonna give it a 9. Visually stunning, beautiful, but I mean, what did we expect from a Guardians film? Solid cast, killed it. I felt like everyone had like all like our main Guardians had like pretty great performances. Yeah, there was definitely stuff that could have been a little tighter. But yeah, no, I just enjoyed it. It was
Tighter.
just tighter. It was a fun, honestly, those movies are just a fun time. And like, it's nice to see a film. Like, I feel like the visuals, like the bright colors and things that we get, like we expected that going into like Thor Love and Thunder, and it felt like they overdid it. Like they played too much into that like 80s vibe that they were going for, but they nail it. It's good. Yep. That's all.
Would you say 9 or 9?
I'm gonna go 9.5. So it's an average 9 across the board. If you're an 8.5,
yeah, you're right.
Okay.
There we go. See it in theaters.
Before we jump into non-spoilers, let's do some box office. So
the only thing that really matters.
Marvel's trilogy about the extraterrestrial crew of Misfits kicked off with 114 million in its domestic box office debut. That is actually lower. That's lower than their expectations. They were hoping for somewhere in between 150, 160.
Damn.
And this came in a lot lower. However,
This has got legs.
It's gonna have legs.
Despite the towering figure, the film ever so slightly missed expectations, arriving considerably behind its predecessor, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which debuted at 146 million. It's a jump of the first Guardians, which debuted at 94 million. Overall, this movie with all 52 markets for a global tally of 282. That's huge. Like it's gonna.
Damn. Okay.
And the word of mouth is very good on. I think it's 200. The word of mouth on this is very good. Not only that, like the cinema score for it. I'm actually looking up the budget right now. 250 actually. So,
Right now,
Cinema
IMDb.
score is no, not
Oh, you're
IMDb.
looking at-
Cinema
okay.
score is they got an A, so that means audiences really like it. That's literally people standing outside with a fucking. How'd you like the movie? What would you score it? A
Yeah.
through whatever. It averaged an A. Rotten Tomatoes, I think,
We are at 81%.
81%, and
What about
and
for-
fans? I think is like 98. I think if
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
last time I checked or whatever, it was high 90s, but
95.
Yep.
yeah,
yeah.
Fuck them critics.
And then I'm trying to think of what.
Yeah, you know,
No, it
Quiet.
makes sense.
81 to 94.
81.
Wow,
It's
I gave
fine.
it a 9.5, and I'm right
and then
on.
I'm trying to think.
And I'm right there with the critics.
I'm trying to think what the
Boy,
These
I've
both-
become so
These
jaded.
both track.
what the other metric would be that we.
D's nuts.
Okay, yeah. How did D's feel about it?
Yeah.
Liz, is the surprise ready?
It's been ready for a while.
Let's bring in the
Queso
surprise
presa.
before we start spoilers. So you guys know how they like to do some branded meals.
Oh
Yeah.
Christ!
You guys remember
so
the
we're doing the
Pazzizzis?
Pazizzi.
Nope. This time, Hello Fresh.
It's
Had
HelloFresh
some
has got raccoon meat.
A real Southern delight.
Had some ciabatta Guardians of the Galaxy sandwiches.
Please clap.
What? Please clap. What's on there? Is that raccoon meat?
We're
It's
not even sponsored
Terran-
You
by.
guys make these?
Yeah.
Oh,
We ain't
that's-
even sponsored by
It's
HelloFresh
Terran
yet.
style barbecue pork sandwiches.
Oh snap! Pickle.
I feel like, is it Tehran or Terran?
What?
I have no idea.
What?
Use code PAK at hellofresh.com for discounts.
HelloFresh sponsor us.
With these little homemade potato chips.
Oh shit!
Are those-
little
oh,
pickle
okay.
chips?
They look like pickle chips.
No, those are potatoes
Okay.
in chip form.
Okay.
And we got some magnets. They sent magnets.
It's true.
Did you
see those?
Wave these over.
Put 'em
your-
on his
over
computer,
your
Nick.
phone.
Yeah.
Same thought. The camera just like degausses like
So yeah.
sloppy
Let me get one.
Joe.
Let's send.
I
out-
can't
send out
really.
them
I can't
plates.
wait to talk about this movie as I chow down on this Guardians of the Galaxy
This
meal.
is real Drax meat. So
Wait, let me see that, Nick. In celebration of Marvel
Thank you.
Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, landing in theaters on May 5th, we're transporting out of this world flavors right to your kitchen. So
Here it
grab
is.
your chosen
Yes.
family and get ready for a delicious adventure.
Nick,
Look
let's
at these
take your
beautiful
ciabatta
ciabattas.
sandwich.
Oh,
Burke,
boy.
take a ciabatta.
This is ground pork, by the way.
Is it okay?
Just so you know the meat we're eating.
it's not raccoon.
Rocky Raccoon.
All right, let's
Can I
see.
ask
Let's
you
see
for-
how the
oh,
Guardians
paper
taste.
towel is perfect.
There you go, yeah.
And I brought knives in case you want to like cut it in.
Oh no, we're digging right in.
Take a bite out of the galaxy with
Oh my God.
Guardians of the
Take a
Bro, I am Groot. All right, I am eating Groot.
take a big galactic bite.
out of your
Not the
outer
pickles,
space
Liz.
ciabatta.
Oh no, can I have pickles over? No pickles. There's supposed to be on the sandwich. Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no, I need my pickles.
My
Whole
pickles.
bag.
I'm just gonna
You
stick
sing
my,
my
fingers
pickles like
in
my
it.
goodies.
my
Maybe.
pickles. My boy.
My boy. Father, no.
All right, so you guys ready to delve into some spoiler
I'm
territory?
ready to delve into some
this pickle.
pork.
Yeah, let's spoil this shit.
All right.
Okay,
Here, you want to? I'll serve you. You talk. I'm gonna serve Mike some pickles.
I'll start.
Take the butt off.
I'll start. So, the biggest problem I have with this movie,
Pickle juice.
Okay.
the biggest problem I have with this movie, is that yo, bro, you're getting fucking pickle juice on my computer.
You got pickle juice all over my
You gotta get the
sandwich.
paper towels.
Liz, get the paper towels. The biggest problem I have with this movie
There's the pickles.
is there's not enough pickles. Is that
Still no pickles.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
halfway through the movie, they solve the main issue of the movie, and then it kind of just turns into Guardians of the Galaxy Fight the High Evolutionary movie.
Yeah.
That's what it turns into. Now, both of those are still good, and I enjoyed it, but it just kind of felt like... I felt like the climax of that plot point, but like, you know, him being the only like, I guess like amazing creature that the High Evolutionary ever made, like that Rocket being like the High Evolutionary's creation, should have ended like when the movie was climaxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, simultaneous release.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Nocturnal emission.
To quote Red Hot Chili Peppers.
You passed them homemade chips, Nick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my biggest gripe about the movie was there was a lot of like, what do you mean you're here? I'm here. Like that happens a lot, and I was kind of like, all right, and I was just like, it got a little annoying. It just was like, especially when Nebula was like, here, but give me your comm to like later with like, you know,
so you
Rocket.
don't have one.
Yeah, it was a lot of like that was a little bit ham-fisted to me.
It was very kind of just kind of all over the place with that type of stuff. That's the big messiness that I have a problem with. Liz, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say when she took Rocket's comm, I was like, "Is this where she sacrifices herself?" Like,
I was like, "Is this
it?
where Rocket dies because he can't get help?"
That
Like,
too. I was like, "Okay, somebody's going to die now," and I was like, I just started to really like Nebula too. Can it not be her?
damn,
I thought
that's some good shit. I finally got to take my first bite.
I didn't say it on mic either.
I thought Rocket. All right, you just threw me off my whole. I thought Rocket was actually gonna die in that scene.
Same.
I was like, "Yo, they're really doing it," and like, I can't remember. Was I saying Rocket or Drax?
You were saying Drax.
We all
I
got
was-
dragged because Dave Bautista's like, "Fuck it, I'm out."
Yeah.
But I always said that would have been too easy. I was like, they ain't killing Groot.
Well, they attempted.
He's worth too much to the bottom line.
Yeah, right.
They
could
attempted to
really-
off everyone in this film.
yeah.
Yeah.
When Star-Lord is like out in space, and I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna freeze to death, and I think they're just gonna give him like a floating thing. And I was like, oh no, my boy's bloating. I was like, they're really gonna do him like that? Like that's gonna be the last thing I see as his like
His bloated ass face.
yeah, stung by a space bee. Shit.
And then somehow he survived that.
Adam Warlock.
Well, yeah, but I mean the blow.
Doing the literal like Adam.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
One might say it was the Sistine Chapel.
exactly.
Yep. Birth of Adam, right?
It's the birth of Adam.
You don't get it?
Yes, that's because he did it in the play that he was just in.
Oh, that's true. I couldn't tell what he was saying because all the
Oh, you're great.
galactic meat was in your mouth.
He was throating all the galactic meat.
Yeah, they showed heaven, or at least limbo in between.
Got a lot of animal cages in it. It looked like Dobby's heaven. Or not Dobby's.
Oh, it did look like the Harry
It
Potter.
looked like
Like
the Harry Potter heaven, yeah.
I think it's just like the in between. It's they've done a couple things about like afterlives and shit in Marvel so far.
That's true.
It looked like where the altar of eternity was.
Yeah. What was
Thor.
what was sad about that was I was like,
there's still mechanical
yeah,
monstrosities
I was
in
so
heaven.
upset. I was like, give them their body parts back in heaven. And I get it that it's like this is how he knows them.
Right.
But it would have been really nice to be like, like you are without
Yeah.
pain and like things like that. And I
If
was,
Lila didn't have mechanical arms.
I know.
When Lila got shot in the back, how did she not just explode from that?
I don't-
Because he didn't shoot her with like a normal pistol. He
And
shot her
then
with one of those
Space gun.
space
I
guns.
thought at first it was like the kill switch thing. I thought
too.
he flipped like a kill switch and he was just going to start flipping kill switches on all these baby
which would have
animals.
made more sense because he has a kill switch in him. It would
Yeah.
have been a little bit more of a red thread.
And then
But it
the
also
second thing was, do you guys know who voiced the otter?
I do. I can't remember.
Sounded very familiar.
Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, Linda Cardellini.
Oh, okay.
She did a great job.
Man,
That was a
she's
very
a
caring
regular
character.
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion did a great job too.
What about when we got his face reveal, when they pull off his face?
That was gross.
It was gross.
was cool.
This was just visually stunning, also visually gross.
Yeah.
Like that, some of that stuff, like the organs, like if we're gonna talk about a forbidden butthole in Dooney Tunes, I can't help but call that. I'm so sorry. It's been programmed.
Dooney Tunes.
It's been programmed inside of my brain.
I've been calling it Dooney Tunes. I think this is the first time Dooney Tunes.
That was disgusting. And they just kept sticking their hands in what looked like that was fat. Like that was supposed to be fat, lactic acid. I don't know. But that was
stuff?
Yeah, that was gross.
I thought Teefs and the rabbit
were the most grotesque.
Unnecessarily gross.
The rabbit looked like the fucking thing from Toy Story. The baby
the
with
thing
like
is-
the little. I was like, no, I don't want to look at
Alexis
this.
thinks that Will Poulter looks like Sid. Don't
He
you?
does. He does.
So you got Sid and his creation in the movie.
Oh,
That's
like,
the rabbit.
like an old wooden ship.
No, it's Teef's. It's Teef's.
Yo,
wheels.
Yep.
Teeves looked with that
Ugh.
that was truly awful seeing that. And like, okay, so actually, let's talk about that. So, how did we get from batch 89 to batch 90? How was batch 89? It looks like I just took a blowtorch and a drill to a raccoon. And then batch 90 was I figured out this evolutionary path. You know what I mean?
Bit of a jump.
Like I felt like that was kind of weird, but also that wasn't the point.
Yeah, he was doing like I think he was doing like the brains on batch 89 and then like the bodies on batch 90.
When it came back and you saw they opened up his brain.
Yeah.
And he was like, hurts like that. I was like, oh
I
no.
know.
That was really
his
sad.
first fucking word he ever says is hurts. It's like, oh, my heart.
So, and I like the way he outsmarts him because it's not like, oh, I just made a formula to whatever. He actually fixed his mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, the filtration shit. Shouldn't you see that? And then it
How did you know
drives
that?
him absolutely batshit. And then when he's like, how you're so smart and you could fix all of this thing, but you can't see I'm just gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, that's even more like upsetting.
Even more sinister.
Swallow.
I really thought they were gonna kill off, Chris Pratt in the Frozen scene.
I really thought they were going to kill off most of the cast. I'm surprised. I mean, this is jumping ahead, but the fact that they said Star-Lord will return, I don't know if that means Chris Pratt or they mean the code name
No,
Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt will be back.
Yeah.
He won't do Guardians movies without James Gunn, but he'll do anything else they put him in.
Yeah.
Why pass up paycheck work?
I don't know. Maybe he wants to do something else in his career. Maybe he wants to
Like what, Nick? Pray.
pray. Yeah.
Eat, pray,
Cut
love.
off my joke, but okay.
Eat, pray,
Make,
love.
make really innocent Instagram posts and have everybody come after him.
Yeah.
for it.
Can we talk about the fuck word?
Yes, dude.
Beautifully placed.
Honestly, like if there was a time to finally have one, this was that was the perfect place for it.
Yeah.
Apparently he ad-libbed it and they were just like, fuck it, we'll keep it.
Yeah.
This is a stupid design. And then watching him drive was the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like
And
really
watching it from Gamora's point
Yeah.
of view, so good.
What about her just taking a shit?
Yo, that caught me off. Yo, because piss porn kind of gets me hot. So I had to imagine she was taking a shit. And then I remembered scat porn gets me hot, so I didn't know what to do.
I don't like this.
And
No, but it was weird though. It was kind of weird to be like, why would they? Did she wipe? Did she wash her hands?
No. She dropped the toilet paper on the ground. She just shook
she's
it.
a
She
Ravager.
And I like how on the ship they have like terrible bathroom stall doors where you can see underneath. Just get a regular fucking door.
They're family, it's fine.
This is outer space. What happens if you blow a hole through the ship with your shit?
You use that random force field shit they got now.
Can we talk about Orgo Corp?
Yes, we can.
Orgo Corp was a cool little side quest, little heist.
I thought that was you with the bottle. That was him with the bag.
Mike
I was really
wrinkling
about to be
his
like, what are you-
pickles in front of the microphone.
Sorry.
It's an ASMR podcast.
Yeah, here, Mike, continue.
Pickle, 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 pickle.
Can you squeak the pickles
I
like
tried.
SpongeBob?
I tried. I tried. I really gave it my all.
I gave it my college try.
But go on, Orgo Corp.
That was gross.
It was a fun little adventure. It was really gross.
I don't want to see it anymore.
Do you know the phrase you have blocking and business?
No.
So blocking is what you physically are doing. Like, okay, you go here, then you say your line and then you move there. The business is what you're doing while you're doing that. So in like more traditional movies, somebody be folding laundry or making a sandwich as they're talking. So it's not just like people delivering their lines at each other. I liked how they had that on the ship, and Peter Quill is like doing the shields. And, he's like fucking with,
Oh, to get through there, yeah.
To get through the barriers. That was cool to actually see him do some business on the ship rather than just like, okay, we're here. That was nice. A nice little touch.
Also like that he was like, yeah, I was a fucking thief. He's like, I can get through this. Don't worry.
Yep.
Sylvester Stallone.
Underutilized.
I mean,
About the same amount of screen time as he had in the second one.
I wanted more. I want to see him slur some lines across the universe.
Adrian.
He really has some. He looks like he's made out of rubber.
He does not look well.
And he looks like he's made out of rubber and he's just operated by CTE. Like, that being said, he's in some new show where he's a mafia guy. Oh, Nashville? Memphis?
Duluth?
They put him in some...
Detroit?
Hold on.
Knoxville.
Is it?
Knoxville?
I don't know.
He did that show last year that I wanted to watch. It was a superhero show called
Tulsa King. That's the show
That's
I'm
not the
talking
one
about.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Tulsa King was the show that he's in right now. He's great in that fucking show.
He did a show called Samaritan.
The movie Samaritan.
Was it just a movie? I thought
Yeah,
it was a
movie.
show.
No, it's not a show. It's not good.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Google it.
Look me in the eyes and
Look
tell
me in the eyes and
I'm
tell
Googling this because I'm your friend, but if you were anybody else, would be like, dude, fuck you. I know this.
I appreciate that.
What do we think of the new Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy team?
Yeah, it's a movie, Nick.
Is it? Okay. Well,
It was on Prime Video.
That's why you're confused.
that was the source of my confusion. I'm interested to see what they do with the new Guardians.
I'm fine if they don't do shit with them.
You know that's not going to happen.
I know.
They're going to continue the franchise or continue using them in other Marvel properties.
I think they'll continue to be a part of the MCU, but I don't think we'll see them in their own movie for a real long time.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get like a Guardians 4.
It'd be interesting to see them with Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, kind of stick them in other outer space stuff.
They tried that, remember? It was Thor Love and Thunder.
And it came out great.
Pat, they didn't try at all. They were there, but there was no trying. It was just like it's like the way I equate it to is in Back to the Future, before they knew that they were going to get any sequels, Doc says, bring Jennifer along with you too. This concerns her as well. Jennifer gets in the car and they fly off. And
Just
then
like Grease.
Then just like Grease. Then in the sequel, within 2 minutes of the movie starting, Doc hits her with a fucking tranquilizer ray and knocks her out because the writers were like, this is gonna ruin the plot of the movie now that we got her stuck with it, So they tranquilize her and throw her in an alleyway.
Commit murder.
They didn't murder her, but that was
She died of
Thor
exposure.
4. At the end of Endgame, Thor leaves with the Guardians, and they're like, what do we do with the Guardians? What if Thor's just such a dumbass that the Guardians ditch him and leave?
Look in the eyes of those you love. Got it.
Got it.
Yeah, that was...
I liked how the incels on the internet thought that they were going to make Chris
Pratt.
Thor and Peter Quill lovers at one point.
Now kiss.
Now,
They
kid.
freaked out. They're like, all right, never mind.
No. One of them is too Christian to do that, Pat. Even as an actor.
How'd you guys feel about the pacing? Because I really didn't feel bored ever.
It's a 2.5 hour movie, right?
And it really just sailed by, yeah.
Yeah.
There were parts where I was kind of like, what are we doing again? But I was never...
That happened to me at one point.
I was never bored, but I was kind of like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
I thought it was, I got a little bit of that. And then the fact that they were like, he has 48 hours to live. And then like all of this takes place in the next 48 hours. It doesn't feel like it takes place in the next 48 hours.
Feels like it takes place over a few days.
Yeah,
a few days more than 48.
Yeah, it feels like almost like 2 to 3 weeks or something to that. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I would say like with some of the dialogue, I know like we needed like character development, but it just like felt like there wasn't urgency around your friend literally in the med bay, like fluid leaking into his lungs with a hole in his chest, and they're like, we must go to Counter Earth. We must go to this next plot
And
point.
they're cracking jokes
there's
along the way.
urgency in like some of the dialogue where he's like, you know, it's not a face off if we know it's a trap, and I'm gonna go, and then don't worry, and and then he actually takes the guy's face off, which was a funny thing on Face Off. But like a lot of it was like, I don't care, we're going, I'm not waiting, I'm doing this and that, and then it's kind of like, okay, we'll take a car.
Yeah.
We'll drive an actual car, probably down to the city center, and then just do it that way. Like,
I was abducted at 8 years old, and I've seen people drive a car, and I know how to get in it, but I don't know how to drive a car.
get in the fucking car.
Yeah, definitely some silly stuff here and there. But it's not one of those things where like I was like weighed down by any of the stupid shit. You know what I mean? I felt
No,
like I
it
was
didn't
just here
ruin
the
it for
ride,
me. It's just like, I feel like I know that they had to pace the movie, but like I was like, Rocket's gonna die.
Well, I mean, going back to what you were saying, how the resolution happens
I keep thinking that's a door.
midway through.
It's another raccoon. They're back.
It would make more sense to me almost if the rocket thing was resolved in the first act, and that set up the events for the rest of the movie rather than dragging it out through the second act into the beginning of the third act.
Yeah.
Have it set off the chain of events. When they get to Orgo Corp, that's it. Rocket's back, and then but now the High Evolutionary knows that where Rocket is, and that leads them on this.
It also would have given it more weight for like Rocket at the very end being like, I'm tired of running.
Yeah.
Like he says that within like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Just got out
Like,
of a coma.
So yeah, if they had like healed him and then he was like, they could have been like, great, like we're on our way. We've done what we needed to do. And he's like, no, like I need to finish this shit.
Yeah, that probably would have made it a little bit tighter.
Yeah. But I don't think anything what they did really weighed much of what they were doing down. You know what I mean? I feel like it was more the structure of the movie that was its downfall as opposed to the way the story was told. You know what I mean?
You remember the bad guys in World War II? Are you allowed to mention them on YouTube with that? You know, like
The Nazis?
Yeah, the
yes,
Nazis.
you're
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think of all the Nazi kind of like imagery, like all the stuff with the experimentation, obviously, but then the kids in cages and stuff?
Yeah.
Very reminiscent.
And you had
of-
him like at the end when he's all like faced off is very reminiscent of like Red Skull,
Yeah,
who
that's
also
true.
was just about racial purity basically, or
Yeah.
ethnic
I'd also
purity.
like to say, I think
Eugenics.
last week we said the word Nazi like 100 times when talking about
Wow.
Sisu.
No.
Oh, that's true. Well,
Yeah, that's true.
that's true. I
we got
what
two
we talked about.
Editor's
Like,
notes.
what movie could we possibly have seen to make us say that?
You guys saw Sisu.
I heard that about 18 times this week.
You saw Sisu. I
We
want to
saw
see it.
Sisu.
Pat's like taking a piss and he's like,
You guys,
they saw Sisu.
They really did it.
I'd be taking a
Those
shit
crazy
looking at my phone, be
fuckers.
like, they saw
You
Sisu.
see one of our clips on TikTok. I saw Sisu.
I am looking forward to having free time to see Sisu. I want to see it. I really do
But
want to see
back to
it.
the movie.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do you think about the monsters that were in the pit?
Oh, the battery eating things.
Yeah.
Dude,
Have
for
we seen
whatever
them
reason,
before?
yeah, they fought one of those in the credits of one where Baby Groot
Oh,
is
yeah.
dancing around and they're all fighting in a
Oh,
certain
yeah.
type of way. That's the one where it's like, oh, you have guns? I thought swords were your thing. Guns are my thing. That fucking scene.
Can I say?
I loved how they threw in that. Yeah, they eat batteries, and I just pictured some guy just throwing his into the ocean.
Just double A's.
Yeah.
I
Like
thought
a
it was just
car
like
bat-
throwing double
No,
A's at these
throwing
things.
a car battery right into the Pacific or something. You know, yeah, that's where they put car batteries. You know that, right?
I hate it here.
I don't want to be here.
I'm back.
I thought it was funny that the chamber lifted off. This is to me was a Jurassic Park moment where it's like our heroes are in the cage and the children are all around them in other cages. The children run off to tell the other children, and then the cage gets lifted off and it's just a big, giant, expansive
That's
room. It's
different. They get thrown down into that cage.
Yeah.
but the kids were still next to them.
No,
No.
they got taken away because all of the
And
that was
guards
a different.
And
the guards
floor
went
opened
there.
up and they fell through the hole.
Okay.
Yeah. And she cracked
My
on her neck
bad.
again. I liked that bit where,
That-
like, every
yeah.
time she fell, Mantis fell, she just, like, cracked her
That
fucking
one in
neck.
particular was brutal.
Yeah.
Dude,
I was like,
people
oh, her
gasped at that.
spine is
Dude,
fucked.
Nebula always getting fucked up and then rebuilding herself.
That
I like
was
that the
cool.
fucking arm thing was
Yeah.
cool.
Was that new?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she
a new
got Bucky's
addition.
arm. Doesn't Rocket take Bucky's arm?
Oh shit.
That's not Bucky's arm.
Is it not?
Rocket
not.
doesn't take Bucky's arm.
He does. He
That's
does
a
it.
joke.
Yeah, but it's not. Thanos built those arms.
No,
No,
Thanos
no,
Rocket,
didn't-
not-
Rocket built those arms
no,
for
that
her.
arm got blown the fuck off.
And then
in-
Rocket rebuilt.
Yeah, those are new.
I thought he
arms.
rebuilt it with, like,
Mm-mm.
no, whatever.
Bucky technology.
Yeah,
It's
with
just,
Bucky
it's
Tech
just
or something.
assumed. Yeah, because he did ask him how much for that arm.
Yeah.
And remember in the first
Oh,
one,
that's right,
He was
yeah.
like, "I need you to get the power, the alarm, and we need that guy's prosthetic leg." And like later on, he actually comes. He goes, "Oh my god, you actually got the leg." He goes, "Yeah, what'd you need it for?" I was only kidding. I didn't know you were actually gonna get the leg.
Wait, can I pivot back to Will Poulter? I am, since we're in spoilers now, I am so glad this was not like a cat and mouse of like them trying to get someplace and him constantly chasing them. Like, I'm glad that there was like a point of like his civilization is going to get wiped out if he does not get this raccoon. And that's when he like beheads the abomination pig. Or what did they call it? War pig? Something.
Pig.
War pigs.
Because like we were talking about him being
Okay.
underutilized, and I'm glad that like I do want to talk about like everybody's character arc since every single person in this movie had a character arc, but I'm glad it wasn't like constantly like, okay, they got to a place and Warlock shows up and then they beat him and then they run away again and he jets off into space and then it happens again and we do that for 2 hours. I like that there was like a significance to what they were doing, who was coming after them, and then why
Yeah.
he was fighting also the people going after them for like
He had
his
actual,
own
like, purpose
point.
as opposed to just being, like, a go-get-em.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it still wasn't enough of him, I don't think. And even then, it's just. I hope they use him down the line
Oh,
differently.
for sure.
The part where Mantis lets whatever creature out of the fucking cell and screams, and that was really funny
She's
too.
like, I was yelling about something
Sorry,
scary behind you.
Oh,
Dude, I laughed
That was
so hard
fucking
at
great.
that. And that's like a general character reaction, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, a pie fell out of a fucking, you know what I mean?
She's
Like,
like, Jesus Christ.
he's like, ah! Like, oh my god!
I like how he even responded in English too, like, "Oh, thank you."
yeah, thanks.
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, all the Guardians were little transmitters, and like that's their retcon. But fuck all that. That's stupid.
But not Jib Jib.
Joob joob.
Joob
Joob
Joob.
Joob.
Jib Jab.
Jib jab.
Um,
Oh, that brings me back. Jib jab.
Jib Jab.
so, did you guys feel the final confrontation with the villain was a little undercooked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gave him, like,
Well, they gave him these telekinetic powers where he could manipulate the space and time around you.
No, not he could manipulate gravity.
Okay.
That he did say, "I bent gravity to my will." Which
Isn't
is
gravity a part of time and space?
space,
I
yes,
suppose,
time.
but space and time implies
Different.
that he's doing like more.
Kang.
I was gonna
things.
say they just
I would-
made
yeah.
him Kang. I was like, they gave him a suit that he shoots like energy blasts out.
I
was like,
heard a lot of people say he's a better Kang.
he's a yeah. I mean, he's a Kang
They
with more
shift-
purpose.
Don't think that hasn't come out, that hasn't gone around, that people are like, they should just cast this guy as Kang and just say that this guy's a
This
Kang
is a variant of-
Yeah.
That
Except
would
they
be
showed every single
fucking
variant of Kang possible previously, and they're all Jonathan Majors.
Well, now he ain't. Now it will not
All
be.
we got to do is just jump to a different branching timeline.
Yeah,
Where
just
the only thing that's different is the Kang.
have Owen Wilson just be like, "Wow," and then
Wow.
we're in this timeline.
the wow that
Wow.
breaks the timeline.
Wow.
The sacred wow.
I'm trying to think what the high evolution. Oh yeah. So I don't feel like we got to see him use those powers to like
No.
their full like visual extent on camera, and especially in a fight against the ensemble cast. Like I felt like they just showed up, Rocket shot him twice, and everybody else whooped his ass, and then that was it.
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, it's not really about conquering the big bad, because what they were looking for was a big emotional ending. So it really didn't matter what the conclusion was with the bad guy. It was about Rocket saying, "We're not running anymore. We're gonna do this as a family."
Speaking of action, what do you guys think of the action? The hallway scene is fucking crazy.
Always great.
The one-shot hallway scene.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn was good.
All the stuff at Orgo Corp.
I feel like as far as action goes, this is the best the Guardians got, besides for Ego versus Peter in Volume 2.
Can we talk about when they go into the tower? If we're going to talk about things not being super tight, they're like, Nebula, you're a giant gun. You can't come in. Human, you're fine. We're not scanning the giant tree man who has like a full arsenal in his body.
Yeah, it's like, of course he's organic. Yeah, that's a great point.
They didn't even bother scanning him. Like, you didn't say, hey,
it also just felt
tree
weird
man.
that Quill didn't have his regular fucking guns.
Oh,
you
No,
know?
he did. He gave them to Groot.
Yeah, that's
before.
what I'm saying. It felt weird that like he didn't use them himself.
He
It's
did.
Like, that's his thing.
He did. Groot. They came out of Groot's back, and he grabbed.
Yeah, but
them.
I looked at the
He
guns
handed
he
them
was
off to Groot.
using. No. He gave his like his dual like barreled pistols, like whatever plasma pistols, to Groot. The pistols he were using were like these little silver things.
They literally come out of Groot's back for his two guns.
You're right that the ones that you see him hand to Groot were not his classic ones, but the ones that Groot gives him in the fight scene are the ones that you're talking about.
Right. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That was a very cool fight scene. I did enjoy that.
I do love how they both jumped out the window too.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Dude, the wings.
Yeah.
were
Oh,
beautiful,
and then when he
you see
kills,
him
how he kills that
murder
fucking
that
guy.
dude, yeah.
Damn.
It is funny how
He was,
they murder. They
he was
murder
just.
people
He was like,
openly.
I'm not gonna kill you. He's like, that's not. He's like, that's not enough of just shooting you.
Well, what he said was, I think one of them said, they're both. You'll both die. We'll both die. He goes, just one of us, like that. Because Groot caught him then.
I got nervous that headpiece was going to like short circuit in
The
water.
yeah.
Nah, he has to shower.
So, couple things
Sure.
I saw was a lot as far as like fans are concerned. A lot of people were upset that Quill didn't use his jet boots. Quill didn't use his helmet at all, which are kind of the makings of the Star-Lord costume. But then the other thing was James Gunn said, "Well, we got rid of the jet boots because we gave them jet packs in the second one," and they were like, "Okay, but that still didn't make an appearance here."
Yeah, he didn't use
And
that
then
to
the
go in
sec-
space.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the second
Or
one.
where he jumped out of the fucking roof.
And then the second one was that his helmet he just keeps in his desk, and they had to get going immediately, so that's why he didn't use
They
it.
also mentioned checking like the gravity and the air on like every
true,
planet
yeah.
they went to too.
and in the very beginning too, when like Rocket's walking up on the thing, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just testing if these gravity boots are working."
Yeah, it's also because
gravity
them
boots.
yeah. It's also just I know a lot of people's like, well, what does it do for the story character? It's just it's just cool to see him tap the ear and see the helmet, and then he flies forward. You know what I mean?
It's
I think
fine.
that's his thing.
The other thing,
know?
though, you got to keep in mind is I've seen a lot of critics, maybe not audience members, complain about the CGI helmets on Marvel characters in general, which I agree with. It like it often looks bad, and it kind of takes away. It takes something out of it. I don't know. It's like the same thing. It's where you complain about analog versus digital.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's CGI'd on there, it loses something in the actor's performance.
That's
It's the eyes you're missing.
a really good.
Not
Like,
Why do you
the
think
eyes.
every time Tony talks, the helmet comes off?
Yeah.
No. I just mean they could give him a real
an actual helmet.
It's not about him having a helmet. It's about the digital.
Oh, okay.
The amount of practical effects they did in this movie though were fantastic. I liked that.
It's
Like
like
all,
D&D.
yeah, all of the makeup on all of the like animal characters, that was all practical. Like all
Yeah.
of their costumes and shit.
All the like Nathan Fillion outfits.
Yeah, everything, and I think that's part of the reason why it looks so good.
These are
is
his
because-
outfits.
Yeah, because they're not just like
Hey,
overworking.
James, I got 100 slick back black hair wigs.
What about 200 stanzos? They're nice. Like,
Do you have
Plastic
costumes
meatballs.
that happen to look like the Michelin Men and the inside of a rectum at the same time?
with 400 rockets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, yeah, the fucking little. Oh, so gross.
It reminded me of like it's cool to see like a sci-fi world where it's like they get creative with like the reason the tech is the way it is because that's how the people evolved, in
Yep.
that direction. We got anything else? Anything stand out we haven't talked? We talked about the High Evolutionary. We talked about all the characters. We talked about the story.
What about the end and now him going back to
actually,
Earth?
right before that, what do you guys think of the CGI in this one?
Looks fine.
A lot better
I didn't
than a
think
lot
about
of
it
the
at
other.
all.
Yeah,
That's what I was
the
saying.
best CGI.
Compared to, again, the dog shit of
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man 3.
yeah.
Like where we just got like the people literally.
Apparently,
in front of
Ant-Man
green
was the sacrificial fucking lamb, bro, because all the money for that project went to the Black Panther CGI, apparently. All right.
God damn.
So, let's talk about the end. Berg, since you brought it up, you can start.
So them disbanding. What did you guys think about, like, you know, I kind of felt that they were all just like, you know what, yeah, it's done. I'm going to go do my own thing. This was good.
It felt very lazy.
It did feel lazy.
Yeah.
It didn't feel
Emotional.
very character driven.
Nope.
Like they had all just gotten back together. I can't see any other reason for this scene to exist or the direction for those characters to go in other than the fact that James Gunn is officially done with the Marvel chapter of his life, and none of those actors are going to step on a Guardians of the Galaxy set without him in the director's chair.
Like the fact that they were like, they dropped the seed of like, oh, Peter, you have a grandfather. Couldn't you have at least been like, your grandfather, he's not getting any younger.
He's old as shit.
He's sick or something, and it's, you know, some reason for him to be like, there's a ticking clock on me having to go do this right now. The same thing with Mantis. Give her some reason for wanting, other than
yeah, it's convenient right now.
yeah, that would have been nice.
And it was also like weird how I mean, I guess Nebula's had a long story, a long journey to get where she's at. She's like, I'm gonna lead our society.
They're like, you're just gonna take that role. No one's
Drax
gonna
is
vote
gonna
for
Hate
you.
everyone, but you're gonna
Drax
take care
is
of
gonna
the
be
kids.
a dad. He's gonna take care of the children.
What about all the animals?
That's what I was about to say. Who's gonna pet the rabbits? You
No,
know
what
I
we
mean?
really need to talk about is the scene where all the animals are jumping from, you know, ship to ship, and that monkey jumps on that woman's face and beats the shit out of her.
So great moment.
I also was just like Chris Pratt sneaking in a Noah's Ark reference here.
Also, if we're going to talk about how we went from batch 89 to 90, how did we get to those kids? What batch are we on?
You see, when a daddy
91.
loves a mommy, they have a lot of kids.
Those,
have
I'm
several
sorry.
children.
That was honestly this
When
part
it's
of the scariest part.
1681, and you needed to make sure that your family carried on,
There's somebody to tend
but
the
there was
farm.
no health care. If you had 17 children, likelihood that
At
at least
least
3
8
would
will-
live. You know.
Could any of you tell if the batch 90, that those horrifying animorphs spoke the same language as the kids?
Jube.
No, I think it was different.
Wow, that's interesting.
No, I like that they developed their own shit world and were dealing drugs and had like real banal 1980s American lives.
Yeah, like that was like 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It feels like home.
And just the husband bat was just like resolved to giving away the car.
Dude, that was a great moment when he sighs about handing over the keys.
So the ending, the post-credit scene.
Wait, can we talk about Groot?
What happened to
I
Groot?
love you guys.
Oh,
Groot just talking?
He can do that?
I read one person say something and I was like, I'm gonna take this as my headcanon now. It was
he
like,
really said, "I am Groot."
he
and
really
that's-
said I am Groot, but because we've spent so much time with these
Now
characters,
we
like
can
Gamora.
understand.
Gamora
Okay.
now. Yeah.
I
Now
like
we can
that.
understand.
That actually tracks.
And
Yeah.
it was also
Okay.
very touching.
Yeah, I read it. I saw that in a
It was
tweet.
the,
I
it
was
was
like,
the,
okay,
it
there
was
we
the,
go.
It was the last. God damn it!
You know
Like,
what?
I mean?
Thank you so much for wrapping that up for me. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel a lot better.
How about, what do you think about
Thanks
when
to that
they-
random Twitter dude.
It
whoever-
reminded me of way back in 2007, where at the end of the first Transformers movies, all of a sudden Bumblebee could talk, and then in the next five yeah, and then the next 5 movies after that, he's back to not talking again.
Wait, so we know that Pat and I cried. Well, honestly, I didn't cry at any point if like Drax, Star-Lord, any of them were in trouble. No. You threw those baby animals in the mix.
Yep.
I don't care if it had robotics on it. When they all died, I was like sobbing. Like I like audibly said like fuck you, James Gunn. Like this is inappropriate.
How dare you do this to me?
I did not cry.
I shed a couple of tears when they just took everything away from a cute little raccoon that already had everything taken from him. I was just like, fuck.
Dude, we watched all those other animals get murdered.
It was sick.
That was sick. James
Oh yeah,
Gunn
just
is
the
a sick
genocide
man.
of an entire planet. Like, is that
didn't
what you're talking
bother
about?
me,
That didn't
no.
bother me either.
When
I didn't cry about that.
They weren't a perfect society. They had to go.
Yep. When Rocket's 3 friends got shot, that was like, oh, brutal.
Yeah. Fuck.
And I felt so bad because like Floor is in the background going, Rocket T's Floor, go now. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, listen to the scary rabbit, please.
That's like, remember that time that Trump
Wait, what was it
was
saying?
like man, woman, person, TV,
When,
camera.
when he shot Lila,
Uh-huh.
Floor is going, Floor Teef's Rocket go now, Floor Teef's Rocket go now, like over and over again, so panicked
that's
while
what he was
Rocket
saying.
is just yelling. That
And then
I did.
Rocket fucked up that guy.
Yeah,
and it
that
was
was a really
awesome.
good origin
I don't know
story.
why he just didn't kill him at that point, though.
Dramatic conjuring.
I get it from like
Take
you
it
know
from a guy who
from
knows.
from a story perspective, but it's just like, why didn't you just kill him? He had a gun, killed everybody else.
Well,
At
he
that
did
point,
try to
Rocket-
scratch his face off, so
I
Yeah,
mean, he tried.
but
he
I
did.
I don't know why he just. I mean, I guess from like this is the first time he's killed anybody.
Yeah, this is not Rocket.
Yeah. That's fair.
New Rocket kills.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Not your grandfather's Rocket.
You're the
Okay.
Guardian of the
So back to the
Galaxy.
grandfather.
Who played
It
the
kind of.
grandfather?
I don't know. I thought they'd
it
get.
should have been old Chris
I
Evans.
thought they would have got some like Nathan.
would've loved
some
that.
some cam. It should have been a cameo of like Christopher Plummer or some shit like that. But
Well, he was in the second one, right?
the grandfather?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He was because you see Peter's mother die, and then the grandfather yells at him. But I don't know if you ever see him or if it's just like
Yeah, I think it's just a silhouette
Yeah.
thing. But he goes back to see the grandpa, and they have this emotional moment where they hug. But then it just kind of cuts to cereal and breakfast, and they're talking about the neighbors. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where he's just like,
that's great.
I loved when he was just like, now I kind of want to know. And the you could just hear the spoon hitting the bowl at the end.
Yeah.
Is a nice touch. And like I said, they're not getting rid of him. He's, regardless of what Twitter says about him, he is still a bankable star 10 years later after these movies have made him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mario's
like-
killing it.
It's not like his star power, his career has really taken. You know what I mean? You ever think about that? This movie broke him, and then Jurassic World upped the ante, and he has coasted on Marvel, Jurassic World, and anything he is in makes money.
Yeah, people like him.
People like him,
really
yeah.
just want to like. He's one of those actors where I feel like it was, I don't know, like a Tom Cruise or like a Brad Pitt back in the day, where it was just like you put him in something and people are gonna go see it.
It's just funny how
Judy Greer was the voice of War Pig.
I think I did know that.
Oh, I knew that too. Yeah.
That's weird.
Out of all of those cast members in Community, I bet you all of them were like, how the fuck did Chris, out of any of us?
You mean Parks and Rec?
Oh, Parks and Rec, yeah.
No, Community.
Community. Parks and Rec. Like, how the fuck did he, out of any of us? It's like him and Aziz Ansari pretty much are the biggest ones since, right?
I mean, Amy Poehler. Well, actually, Adam Scott's
Dude,
in Severance.
Amy Poehler ain't headlining the Summer
No,
Block.
Adam
big
Scott's in
before that.
Severance right
Yeah,
now.
but Adam Scott was a pretty big regular in network television prior to Parks and Rec too.
Was he?
What's
Yeah.
her face on it? It was. I didn't watch the show. Oh gosh.
Oh, help! I'm
Help! I am the adult version of Jenna Ortega. I am.
No,
Aubrey Plaza.
I am Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, she was in that show.
Okay.
That was good, Liz.
They did that bit, and that was all I could think of.
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone on the internet is calling her mother right now, and I can't think of her name.
Yeah, she was recently in another TV show thingy. What's that one about that spa? Help, it's a spa and it's on Netflix.
It's I am.
Yeah.
I watched the first half of the first season, and I am Jennifer Coolidge.
I was gonna say Jennifer Coolidge is
I think
in it.
Sydney Sweeney's in it. Oh my God, White Lotus.
Thank you. Yeah, she was in that. That was her most recent thing. But yeah, I mean,
I
Chris,
am Aubrey Plaza. I am White Lotus.
Chris,
I am
Chris Pratt has
Uncharted.
I'm Uncharted. Has
So,
been the only person out of all of them to like.
can't find.
I think Aubrey Plaza is about to have her moment.
Like this, but she's got a lot of catching up to do.
She does, but I think it's coming.
This movie
Mother.
has pretty much 2 or 3 weeks until May 19th for when Fast X comes out. So that's when it has its time. 2 weeks.
That's 2 weeks.
To suck up 90% of the money that it's going to make. Because when Fast X comes out, that thing's just going to be a juggernaut at the bottom. Dude, the last one was the highest grossing domestic movie of the pandemic. And I know we did the whole bit. It's still a bit,
It's still accurate.
Fast and the unvaccinated.
Yeah, that's gonna be like that's just gonna absolutely overshadow every possible thing in theaters.
So they're gonna do their best the next 2 weeks. And listen, I hope it does really well. I mean, the Mario movie
do you know what did
crossed
the Mario,
$1 billion last week.
What did the Mario
it opened
movie
in
do
March,
this week?
right?
Do you mind if you're?
Yeah, no, I can look.
I'm just curious as to
Pull that
like.
up. I want to know what you guys thought about the carrot head dude.
Oh,
Dude,
like, I'm
he
gonna
was great.
waste this fucker that looks like a carrot.
It's so fucking good.
And then he was just like, "Oh my god, thank God!" Like that was again very like the Rick and Morty type of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Gamora's character and lines were very much like, "I'm just gonna fuck everything up and I don't give a shit."
As of today,
Or what did it make? Like,
daily,
Yeah.
like today alone, it made 6.1 million.
God damn it!
So it's still making.
Still making like close to $20 million like a weekend.
Oh, okay. So Guardians came in this week at 114 million, and Super Mario came in at 18.6 million.
How much of that do you think
damn.
Chris Pratt got?
Nothing.
He got.
All,
he
all
definitely
movies
has
are still,
point-
all movies are not
He
profitable.
absolutely has points on the back end for this and the other one. So
And
I'm
you know,
sure he's making
Zoe Saldana's sitting there going, "I'm in
Zoe
the
Saldana.
top 2." Yeah, isn't she?
No,
she's
Keep
in.
going.
She's in the top 2 highest grossing movies of all time. So
She's in 3.
she's in 3 now.
She's actually in all of them.
Holy crap!
The Avengers
Avatars.
movies and the Avatar movies.
Yeah.
Good for her.
So she said she
she's-
wants to take
ain't
a
sweating
break.
it.
She wants to take a break
agent
from
must be like,
franchise
yeah.
Does she have any
filmmaking.
kids?
When was the last time she wasn't anything but like when she was like her own skin tone in a movie?
It's a good question. I don't know.
That's a great. Yeah, I honestly don't know. What the
mean-
fuck else is she in?
When wasn't she blue or green?
Yep, that's what I'd like to know.
They also did like I don't know however they do the CGI for like the skin coloring and the alteration in these looked fantastic.
I assume that was makeup.
I thought some of it probably practical, but like I mean
She was in Amsterdam, so really not that long ago.
Oh, that's
and
right.
the Atom Project she was in.
Oh yeah,
Forgot
that's
about
a
that.
very forgettable movie.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
good 2
I
hour
forgot about
romp.
that.
Okay.
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 So do we have anything else for non-spoilers? We can go to clip. I mean, for spoilers.
Did you know Zoe Saldana is from New Jersey?
Let's
Where
go.
Passaic.
Let's not go.
Never mind. We'll stay home.
I just totally unrelated. I just bought a 1970 Army Corps of Engineers topographic map of Monmouth County, and this is all
Go
because
talk to some man here who will
That's
love to
true.
hear about it.
But it's
Get the
all
Confederacy in the other room. Go.
because
Hey,
I'm so into city skylines. I'm like, I want topographic. I want to know how the city planners.
I think
planned
somebody
I love
on
that.
my Twitch chat or somebody was like, "Yeah, I really like City Skylines." I was like, "I think I know somebody else who
There you
really likes
go.
that game."
Liz, imagine you and me build a city together.
I would love to do that. I would love to build a city.
We built this city.
We built
Nope,
this
nope.
city.
I'm cutting it off right there. Clip of the week.
Okay.
Oh, you cut it off right there, didn't you?
Yep.
No clip.
You just get 2 drum beats.
Oh yeah, it's the clip of the week. Oh, it's the clip of the week. It's the clip of the week.
Nick, can you just hold those up for a second?
Dinner time.
Dinner's on me.
Liz, can you see the laptop?
I can see the laptop.
I like the
All right,
cutoff
here we
emoji.
go.
60 километров в час.
Oh!
God damn it.
60 километров в час.
Dude, that right there is the most jarring
This
part.
affected Liz mentally.
It also because it like goes and you don't think it's gonna collapse.
Yeah, it sits for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
Please tell me we know if this person's alive.
It sounds like they're
Okay,
talking.
you hear them calling for help.
I thought that was
Yeah,
just.
let's
I thought that was just like the radio or something.
Listen. Listen.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Километров в час.
That's such a satisfying
that
like.
is a very satisfying crash. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
boy.
that timing.
That
They,
took-
had they been any closer, they would have been.
This video's timing is almost as good as mine.
This is like
He's just touching
channel.
himself.
This is like channeling like my inner like one of my
Your
biggest
final
fears.
like final
Yeah.
destination level fear.
That is a very satisfying crunch.
And also,
As
the
good
fact
as
that-
those pickles.
They were good pickles, Liz. Oh snap!
satisfyingly crunchy.
Yo, those sandwiches were good.
Look
actually.
at the
They were
action
pretty good.
on the cement truck too when it hits.
Oh,
fuck.
like how it dips down.
Yeah,
50 километров
the
в час.
shocks on that truck are totally fucked.
What does
Oh,
the
yeah.
bottom look like? Hold on.
50 километров.
It doesn't really look like it hit. Oh
It's
yeah,
like
I
that
see.
top
Yeah,
part,
never
yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it hits it.
Oh,
pretty
and also,
hard.
what was that thing that flew off to the
I
side?
think it was the
Part
top of the
the,
truck. Look.
yeah.
Километров в час.
Also, what is that? Because it's like it's not like attached to that bridge behind it, is it?
Yeah, it looks like it might be the construction of a new bridge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or an
It's
old
like they
one.
better start again.
So like, well, I guess the good news is there were no cars
one
on
else is
that.
driving
Like,
over.
Yeah,
Look,
and they
like
got a
we gotta
cement
start
truck
from
right there.
scratch.
You got fresh cement.
oh.
All right, that was a good one. That caught me off guard. I like that one.
Caught them
Who
off
who
guard,
found that?
too. You know, it's me.
Classic.
Oh God.
All right. Well, with that said, thanks so much for checking out
Thanks
Press
for-
Any Key this
thanks
week.
for being our jube.
Yep, and like this video, share it, join our Discord, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.